in online teaching learning process. We have started unit number 2, metal ligand bonding in transition metal complexes, from the paper number 9 in organic chemistry. And in last video we have seen crystal field splitting of octahedral complexes, tetrahedral complexes and square planar complexes. And in this video we will see next theorem, that is Jahn-Taylor distortion. So that is a Jahn-Taylor effect. In this we will see basic concept about the Jahn-Taylor, the theorem, and what is the tetragonal distortion. So first, in case of Jahn-Taylor distortion, that is crystal field splitting in tetragonal complexes. In 1937, Hermann Jahn, that is in the year of 1937, the scientist Hermann Jahn and Edward Taylor postulated a theorem stating that stability and degeneracy are not possible simultaneously unless the molecule is a linear one. That is, at one time we are not getting stability and degeneracy of that complex in regard to its electronic state, that is with respect to the electronic configuration of the transition metal. So these two scientists, that is Edward Taylor and Hermann Arthur Jahn, that is Jahn and Taylor, discovered this theorem. So the name of the theorem is Jahn-Taylor distortion theorem. So this leads to a break in degeneracy which stabilizes the molecule and by consequence reduces its symmetry. That is, stability of the molecule is increased by using this Jahn-Taylor distortion. Then what is Jahn-Taylor distortion? That is, and when do you get Jahn-Taylor distortions? There is one condition: when odd number of electrons in the Eg or T2G lobes available. When Eg possesses odd number of electrons, that is maximum capacity of Eg is 4 electrons, but there is a presence of 1 electron or 3 electron in Eg level, then we are getting Jahn-Taylor distortion. And another condition is a T2G, that is other than 3 electrons present in the T2G lobes, that is more than 3 electrons present in T2G lobes, then we are getting Jahn-Taylor distortion. So this is the basic need to form the Jahn-Taylor distortion. Then we will see details about the Jahn-Taylor distortion, that is distortion of the shape of complexes. That is simply distortion of octahedral shape of complex takes place. So this theorem is called as Jahn-Taylor effect. Previously we know that the name of this theorem is a Jahn-Taylor, which depends on the, or which was discovered by the two scientists, that is Jahn and Taylor. So in the case of Jahn-Taylor theorem, which states that any non-linear molecule with an electronic degenerate ground state will undergo a geometrical distortion that removes the degeneracy, lowers the symmetry, because the distortion lowers the overall energy of the species. That is, when uneven distribution of electrons in Eg lobes takes place, then degeneracy of Eg lobes will be disturbed, and after the disruption of degeneracy there is a lower in symmetry will be possible. So this type of phenomena occurs in Jahn-Taylor theorem. So these are the diagrams. So in the case of diagram, that is suppose this middle one is a perfect octahedron and this is a Z compression, that is compression along Z axis takes place, and this is a Z elongation, that is elongation along Z axis takes place. There are certain conditions to form this type of phenomena, that is pure octahedron is converted into tetragonal arrangements with the effect of Jahn-Taylor distortion. So in the case of John-Taylor effect, that is John-Taylor effect predicts which structure will distort. It does not predict the nature or extent of the distortion, only shows the which type of structure will be distorted, that is octahedral structures will be distorted into tetragonal forms. So this effect is more significant when the electronic degeneracy is in the orbitals that point directly towards the ligands. That is the electronic degeneracy of the orbital, that is dz square and dx square minus y square. When the uneven distribution of electrons occurs in dz square and dx square minus y square, then their John-Taylor distortion will be possible, which will be predicted by these two scientists. Then we will see details about the John-Taylor theorem. So in the case of John-Taylor theorem, which states that in molecules or ions that have a degenerate ground state, the molecules or ions will distort to remove the degeneracy. That is, if initial state all the electrons are degenerate, having same energy, but the electrons are in uneven condition, that is they are not equal. Suppose Eg are not having all 4 electrons. If Eg possesses 1 electron or 3 electron, that is uneven distribution of electron in Eg takes place. So in this case, this is a fancy way of saying that when orbitals in the same level are occupied by different number of electrons, this will lead to distortion of the molecule. That is, what is important is that if the two orbitals, that is Eg level, have different number of electrons, this will lead to John-Taylor distortion. And the example is copper 2+ ion with its D9 electronic configuration is degenerate state, and which shows John-Taylor distortion. Then we will see details about the copper 2+ ion in this diagram. So in the case of copper 2+, copper having atomic number 29 and simple electronic configuration of copper is argon 3d 9 4s2. But in the case of copper 2+ state, but copper shows exceptional electronic configuration, that is copper shows 3d10 4s1 electronic configuration. But in the case of copper 2+, copper shows electronic configuration 3d9, that is removal of 2 electron takes place. So in the case of 3d9 state, the electron distribution takes place in d orbitals, that is T2g and Eg. So in the case of T2g, it contains 6 electrons, and Eg it contains 3 electrons. But the main problem is this 1 electron either goes into the dz square lobe or dx square minus y square lobe. So their position is not fixed. So this is an uneven distribution because Eg orbitals or Eg lobes contains, that is dx square minus y square orbital or dz square orbital, and the position of this electron, single electron, is not fixed. That is, this single electron either present in dx square minus y square orbital or dz square orbital. So the position of one electron is uncertain, and this uncertainty shows, that is John-Taylor distortion. So this is the second position, that is one electron is shifted from this side or this side. So these two conditions will show John-Taylor distortions. So in the case of copper 2+, suppose in the perfect octahedron diagram, middle one, all the T2g lobes contains 6 electrons, and next Eg lobes contains 3 electrons, as like this. So this is a perfect octahedron. But we know that this uncertainty of this 1 electron, suppose if 1 electron goes into the dx square minus y square orbital, then all the lobes are dxzy and dyz contains 4 electrons, dxy contains 2 electrons, and dz square contains 2 electrons, and lastly 1 electron goes into the dx square minus y square. What is dx square minus y square? Dx square minus y square means their lobes are lies on the x and y axis. So when ligands are interacted or coming towards the metal, then there is a ligand metal interaction takes place, and dx square minus y square contains 1 electron, so there is a strong interaction of ligand and metal takes place, so their energy is increased. And dz square contains 2 electrons, so it is a stable, there is a less interaction of dz square lobe with the incoming ligand takes place, so dz square is stabilized here. So during this dx square minus y square there is a strong interaction, and dz square there is a less interaction, so here z elongation takes place. So this is a z elongation complex, which is a tetragonal complex. So perfect octahedron is disturbed, that is diagram or geometry is disturbed, and it is converted into tetragonal form, and so it is called as elongated structure. This is the second diagram for detailed explanation. When one electron goes into the dx square minus y square, so there is a z elongation takes place, that is lobes along z axis is extended because there is a strong interaction along x and y axis takes place. And in second case, suppose this is a perfect octahedron, we know that when one electron goes into the, or when we kept one electron into the dz square orbital, that is the interaction of ligand with z axis takes place. So the lobes are dz square, along with dz square there is a lobes of dxz and dyz, shows slight interaction with the incoming ligand, but dx square minus y square and dxy which shows less interaction. So in the case of when electron goes into the dz square, so there is a strong interaction of incoming ligand with the dz square of the metal takes place, and due to this strong interaction there is a z compression takes place, and so this tetragonal geometry is called as z compressed geometry. So such type of phenomena takes place in John Taylor theorem, and specifically in copper 2 plus ions, because copper 2 plus ions contains Eg 3 electrons, and these 3 electrons, the distribution of these 3 electrons are uneven, that is one electron, the position of one electron is uncertain, either it is present in the x square minus y square as like this, or either it is present in the z square, and with respect to this we are getting z elongated complex and z compressed complex. So this is the main theme of John Taylor distortion. Then we will see next, that is d electron configurations that lead to John Taylor distortion. Other than copper 2 plus, there are other examples are also available, that is in case of d4 state, that is for example chromium 2 plus ion and manganese 3 plus ion in high spin condition. Then what is high spin? High spin means chromium and manganese which combines with weak ligands, that is chlorine, bromine, iodine or water, and during this combination we are getting d4 state. d4 means 4 electrons present in d orbital, and the distribution of 4 electrons will be possible like this. These electrons are distributed like this, that is T2G contains single electrons 1, 2, 3, and 1 electron goes into the Eg level, because there is a high spin complex. Due to the high spin complex there is a small energy gap between T2G and Eg takes place. Then another example is a D7 case, for example cobalt 2 plus and nickel 3 plus ion. In the case of low spin means cobalt and nickel combines with strong field ligands, and during this strong field ligand there is a large gap between T2G and EG, and during this low spin first 6 electron directly goes into the T2G level, it does not obey Hund's rule, and remaining 1 electron then further goes into the EG level. So this is the uncertainty of this 1 electron, and also in this uncertainty of 1 electron, so this too shows John-Taylor distortion. The next example is a D8 low spin. Low spin means strong field complex. That is, for example, cobalt plus, nickel 2 plus, palladium 2 plus, rhodium plus, platinum 2 plus, and gold 3 plus. These are the examples. In D8 low spin, initially 6 electron goes into the T2G level, and remaining 2 electrons either goes into the, that is d x square minus y square or d z square. So this is a EG orbitals. And last example D9, that is in previous slide we have seen it in detail. That is D9 case, initially all 6 electron goes into the T2G level, and remaining 3 electrons are distributed in EG in unsymmetrical pattern. So all these examples shows John-Taylor distortions. So in case of multiple choice and MSc entrance, they will ask which type of complexes shows John-Taylor distortion. So here are also distribution of electrons. So in the case of D4 high spin, in case of high spin, that is weak field ligand, electron distribution takes place according to Hund's rule, that is first singly and then doubly electron distribution. Then in case of D7, it does not obey Hund's rule, so all the electron initially goes into the T2G and remaining 1 electron goes into the EG. And in case of D9, that is it does not obey Hund's rule, all electron goes into the T2G first and remaining 3 distributed into the EG. So all these are the examples of John-Taylor distortions. And some diagrams of John-Taylor distortion. This is the perfect octahedron. So this is the perfect octahedron diagram. Then in case of Z in and Z out, so in the case of Z in means Z compression, 1 electron is present in dz square orbital, and in case of Z out, 1 electron in present in dx square minus y square. So Z out means that is a elongated complex, and Z in means that is a compressed complex. And this is the another specific diagram which will show how copper 2 plus ions are elongated and compressed. So we have seen in details about the John-Taylor theorem. So in the case of John-Taylor theorem, we have seen that any non-linear molecule in a degenerate electronic state will distorted so as to remove the degeneracy. That is, degeneracy of that orbital will be removed after the distortion, which we have studied in copper 2 plus ions. So in the case of, that is, asymmetrically filled non-linear complexes show John-Taylor distortion. This is the main condition, asymmetrical filling of the electrons in EG level and to remove the degeneracy. So in the case of spontaneous loss of degeneracy of EG and T2G orbitals for certain D9 configurations. So in the case of John-Taylor distortion, octahedral geometry is changed into tetragonal geometry. So this is the main function of John-Taylor theorem. Then another feature of the John-Taylor theorem is there is two types of John-Taylor distortion will be possible. That is a static John-Taylor distortion and dynamic John-Taylor distortions. Only we highlight that concept. That is, in case of static John-Taylor distortion, that is the complexes which are having measurable bond length differences are the examples of static John-Taylor distortion. So static John-Taylor distortion shows at all conditions, at all temperature, static John-Taylor distortion will be possible, and complexes having asymmetric filling of EG mainly shows John-Taylor distortions. So this is the main type, that is static John-Taylor distortion, which will be possible at all temperatures. And second one is a dynamic John-Taylor distortion, that is a John-Taylor distortion can reverse, that is can hop from one orientation, that is one orientation to another and give rise to dynamic John-Taylor distortion, that is a variable. And dynamic John-Taylor distortion only occurs at low temperature. So these two, that is static and dynamic John-Taylor, only condition will be asked in multiple choice questions or mainly in MSc Entrance. So this slide is introduced here because static and dynamic John-Taylor, which is not mentioned in your syllabus, but in MSc Entrance they will ask at which condition dynamic John-Taylor distortion will be possible. That is at which condition, that is at low temperature dynamic John-Taylor will be possible. Such type of question will be asked. So thank you all of you for listening this video.